I don't know. It says this, the channel is claimed. I don't know. I am not smart enough to understand it. Hey Maxim. So, if you hear rain uh, in the background, it's raining like mad outside. So, yeah, the suspension rebuild looks all right. Um, I still don't understand why, despite us having caster, the wheels do not want to, you know, do not want to kind of straighten themselves. That's a mystery to me. I guess we need a little bit more. Um, the problem also is I was when rebuilding the other side, I was kind of thinking on how we're gonna make the steering links. I don't know, because would you believe that we need half a stud offset? Yeah, I know. Hard to imagine, but that's what it is. Um, so I don't know what we're gonna do here. So we need apparently a little more caster or not. We definitely will experiment with it. Um, hey Tubak. So yeah, let's give it a little more caster on this side and see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It's not gonna work. Uh, Links are more or less impossible to mount correctly with current kingpin inclination. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, we need we need to change. Uh, we're on the right path, but things need to change. That's so the kingpin here. So the kingpin here. Um, I don't know. Problem is, if we whatever we do here. So if we move the kingpin to back to where it kind of was, so basically moving the steering links one step further in, or I mean, yeah, obviously we need to move them one step further in, and then we move this part here in, and then we move, of course, the pickup point for the spring one step further in as well. We'll see uh, what changes this will bring. Oh, dislike again, nice. I mean, I pretty much know who's disliking it, so it's fine. But yeah, um, yeah. Where do we begin? Let's begin first with the caster to see what the changes if it works. Uh, I would like an A arm on top, but there's no room for it. Plus, this is, well, I don't know. If they would be spread apart a little bit more, they would be more stable. And if we spread them apart a little bit more, we can they get pulled in a little bit, and then we can change the pickup point here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's give it a little bit more caster and see what happens. All right. There we added little more caster. Little more caster. Of course, with our current configuration, it's hitting this, but I don't care because I just want to see the effect of the added caster. Will the wheel be kept straight? Oh, it's a lot better. Still not perfect, but oh yeah. Now that we added more caster, this wheel behaves a lot better. So yeah, more caster. Still, I think we still need probably a tiny bit more, so it stays straight. But that's the least of our problems. So uh, we don't need more camber, that's for sure. But and we will probably want to keep this here where it is. But we are gonna spread those apart, and we are gonna use, instead of the number 3 connector, we are gonna use a number 4 connector. So basically we are pulling the kingpin in a little bit by having a different angle here, spraying these two apart, so that when we're done, the length, so the distance of the fucking angle of this stays the same, you know. If we succeed, I don't know. Let's try it. In the end, I think that we are going to have to make something similar that we had before, where the upright angles a little bit in, simply because otherwise we are never gonna be able to attach the steering link. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, let me try this. Come on. I mean, there's no point in showing what I'm doing because I can hardly see what I'm doing myself. Basically, I'm. Come on. The pickup point. Come on. Here is gonna be moved one step
for the back.
Keep in mind, we are just experimenting here. What we are doing here is not the final version of what we are gonna do. We just need to determine the geometry, you know. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to, but in the end, the RX suspension itself isn't that bad. The chassis that's bad. The RX chassis basically is bending too much in just behind the cabin, but I didn't feel, you know, since I would have to basically rebuild everything. I just said, fuck it. No need to deconstruct every model. It gets tiring after a while. Okay, so first problem, at full drop, the ball joint here wants to almost dislocate because the angle of these is slightly too big. When we compress the suspension, it gets better, but it's not okay. Okay, so the angles look good. Let's see what happens when we put it on the wheel. Okay, let's see what the caster says. Caster says, caster, help me. Camber. Camber is not okay. The wheel is basically leaning out a little bit, the way this is set up at the moment. So this is a little bit too much. Okay. What about camber? So yes, the wheel is basically straightening itself. Unlike the other is still wanting to pull in. This one wants to, yeah. This one wants to straighten itself. So camber is okay. Caster is not okay. Caster is okay. Camber is not okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so time to rebuild this. So we want to keep the position of these here, but we want them to be just slightly more here. And we want, we want here an angle. No, caster is okay. Camber was not okay. We are struggling with camber. So basically what we want is, we want a suspension upright here that is not like this, because the angle here is too big. The problem is that these at full drop, the ball joints here want to dislocate because the angle is just too steep. So we want to minimize the angle of those ball joints, and we need a diagonal um, structure here, because that's the only way uh, where we can mount the steering. If we don't have that, we cannot mind. Yeah, I'm struggling with terminology. Uh, my tongue is like blah, blah. Yeah. Um, so we don't want exactly what we had before. I think this is from this side. Yeah. So we don't want exactly what we had before, I think, because this is, or this was, way too bulky. Let me just, in my mind, I'm trying to see where we are. Mm, yeah. Basically, it wasn't that bad. It was still too bulky, but um, hey Luigi, still too bulky, but maybe we could, maybe we could do something with it. Hmm. Let me think. Just a moment. Let me think. How could we? Less angle 3 stud. One more hello, and I'm gonna click ban. Goodbye. Can I click ban? No, I cannot click ban. Um. Oh yeah, there I have it. Okay, you're lucky. This would have been my first ban, but I kind of didn't see where the ban button was. Yeah. Um. What? Stop spamming the channel. Write sentences instead of one word per line, and it'll be fine. And stop saying hello so much. There's no need. What? Why? He said like hello for 10 or 15 times hello. I mean, and it looked like he isn't about to stop. So um, just a second, just a second. Let me concentrate a little bit. I know it's a hard thing to ask from me, since I'm an old man. But give me a second. Give me a second here. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm not really surprised, but So we basically want this to be placed diagonally, kind of here. So um, let me just think of a way to do this. Oh well. I mean, it's not the first time and not the last time that you wasted. So, mm, um, well, the car is like here. At the moment, we are fixing the front suspension geometry. So, mm, mm, just a second. Just a second. I may have just had an epiphany. Mm, 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 we will probably have to do something that we have something in the style of what we have here, but slightly different. Slightly different. Mm, mm, mhm, mhm. It's coming. It's coming. It is coming to me. Do I have another one of these? That's the question. I do. I do have another one. Very good. I know. I don't want to use the number three connector. I am well aware of it. Well aware of it. Don't worry. This I don't know if we are gonna get to use, but just experimenting. but we are gonna end up with we do want this to be in the middle. Hmm. Okay. It's gonna be weird. I don't know what to do here yet, but mm, we are using a multi-link setup because we want the um, pivot point on the ground to be inside of the wheel. If we don't use a multi-link, the pivot point on the wheel is going to be outside of the wheel because shitty rims. We cannot have stuff deeper inside of the wheel. Um, it's not my fault. It's Lego's fault. Um, let me just finish this, and then you can bash me for what I'm doing. This, of course, is just an experiment. It's not what I want for the final version. Um, just to see what's gonna happen. Because I don't think we can even mount this in a proper way. Okay, this is too high anyway. But we can solve this by using different connectors here. So that's not a huge issue. The bigger issue is how do we connect this to this? There is a connector, but the problem is it's axle hole and axle hole, which is not okay. Plus, we don't have any mounting points for the steering, even if we make even if we make this work. We don't have mounting points for the steering. Yeah. So that's a bummer. Porsche wheels are shit. Um, are we really going back to this? I wonder. Hmm. Yeah, just Leon said. Unfortunately, um, the Ferrari wheels are useless to us. So we want this to be a bit higher. A bit higher. Okay. Three, three, and three. Come on, bro. Really. Oh, okay. This is where I was missing. Okay. Let's see. How wrong is this? How wrong is this? Oh yeah. It's wrong because these two have to be on this side. So they have to be yeah. Okay. Kada is actually looking into proportional service. Looks like Kada will be the first. Okay, we need to be on this side. So 3. There. There. Okay. Here. This. Don't need this, so we can use this here. Now we use this here. Okay. This might do it. The problem is this part here. This part here is definitely gonna hit this. We're gonna try it, but I predict it's gonna hit the suspension arm. Let's see. I mean the suspension arm, the spring. I meant the spring. Why are you just... Yeah, it hits the spring, of course. So we need to design this in a way that this here is not here. Okay. Okay. But other than that, let's see about the caster. The caster, the camber. Camber. The camber is now the way it should be. It's straight, as far as I can see. Yeah. What about the... Oh yeah, look at this. Look at what that wheel is doing. And look at how straight this trails. Nice. So definitely caster is good in here. So we basically just need to design this in a way that it's not gonna hit the spring, which is this part here. This part here obviously is hitting the spring, preventing it from turning. Yeah. Obviously, we have the same problem that we had with the previous version of steering, which is that focus. See this lift arm here. This lift arm here is obviously hitting the A arm. In our previous version, this part wasn't here, so everything worked. Yeah, it's staying in the straight line without a steering link, and that's exactly what I'm preaching the whole time. Caster. That's what caster does. And the faster the car goes, the more stable it is. So if you see remote controlled Lego cars that go very fast and crash at the end, so they go faster, and faster, and then at the end they crash, that's because of that. Yeah, exactly, because I built the exact same thing. That's the problem. So we have to do something else. Let's see how we can eliminate that there and do something else. So the A arm is gonna, I mean the suspension arm is gonna stay, but we are gonna change this here. I had Lego servos, but I have no idea if they are proportional or not. So beats me. Right. So we don't want this here. We do not want this lift arm here, which is unfortunate. But doable. Doable. Okay, we want the position of the pivots approximately where these here are. Not sure if the number 3 connectors are the right way to do this. Number 3 connectors are not gonna do the trick unless they are here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, exactly where we had them before. Okay, just let me think. Let me think. Number three connectors. Number three connectors can be here, but we want this diagonal here. We want this diagonal here. Okay. 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 Maybe it's doable. Um, so this is what we want. This is the correct geometry for the upright. And now we want a diagonal from here in the front to somewhere here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make ourselves a diagonal. Yeah, not with this. Not with this, but with this here. Maybe. If the geometry is gonna agree with it, I don't know. But I sure as hell can try. Too long. Too long. Yeah, this is not the right one. I'm not sure if this is the right geometry. Not sure. Probably not. Yeah. It is not the right geometry. So sad. Would be cool, but it's not. We need something here. Something. Something that enables us to have a half a stud offset for the steering link. Ideally, we would incorporate this in as well, but no. something like this that we would somehow mount somewhere here. We can mount this. We can mount this. It's doable. We had the steering connected to here. We'll see what happens on the other side, but it's doable. Shame that there's half a stud space here. If it was just one stud, that would be brilliant. See, here it was. If it was just one stud, we could use we could use a 2-stud left arm here, but it's not. I mean, not this one. Yeah, we cannot use this. I mean, we cannot use this here because it doesn't pivot here. So cannot use that here. If this is half a stud offset, and this would definitely be half a stud offset. Come on, focus. Focus, yeah, black. I mean, I know black is not the best color for focusing parts, but if we connected this to this, but it's problem is if this was one stud, if the gap was one stud would be great. It can't be. We cannot move this further out because it's gonna collide with the wheel. It's getting ridiculous. I thought we were done with this, but nope. Nope. We are not done, it seems. This one, you mean? But this will then mess up all of the camber stuff. I don't want to mess up our camber stuff. The problem is not the half stat here. The problem is here. I mean, having this not here is fine, and we can mount this even, but then the problem is that this part here is gonna be in the air. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. So this is where it was. And we need to find a solution for this here. So this is pivoting because we want this here. This here is going to be done via this. So essentially, this needs to be different because this part here I think is gonna rub on the wheel, which is not under all circumstances, but it's gonna rub. No. Ideally, we don't want this here, but we'll see. I mean, we can always do this. There's room, so no worries. No worries. The problem is, how do we now make this? We could do. And of course, this is turning because there's nothing holding it here. Problem is, obviously, we cannot do this angle here. It's impossible. So yeah, but I tried this geometry before. It doesn't work. I tried this geometry before. This shouldn't work. Let's see. Let us see. Yeah. See? That's the problem. This gap is the problem. So, nope. Not gonna happen, sadly.
Um,
Let's go. Open the window a little bit. You know what that gap screams? Mock. I really don't like that solution. Plus, uh, that gap means that the lift arm does not have a fixed position. It can wobble up and down, and it's not acceptable. That is absolutely not acceptable. Um, hold on, hold on. No, the problem is the wheel. We don't have room. We don't have the room. There's not much that we can do here. That's the issue. There's not a lot of scope for experimentation here. But we do need to experiment. I don't even think we can do this. Because obviously the wheel is gonna rub on this. Yeah. Almost. Huh? Almost. This could be an option. This could be an option. Um, yeah, I know. I know. I know. But I'm not giving up. I am not giving up. So let's say that we would use this here. We would use this here. There's just enough room for this. Now what now? Now what? This makes everything nice and stable, but steering links are a problem. Problem is that we cannot pin anything here. No connectors go in here because Lego made the part, well, super annoying, even though they could have provided us with the option to have connectors in here. Nope. They decided, no, we cannot stick a connector in here. It's never gonna connect because this is too high. So that's not really an option. See, this here, come on, focus. Focus. Yeah. So this part here, see, it's so high that you cannot fit a connector between this and this. Why? There's, I don't know. Yeah, other hubs are worse, I think. Or or yeah, but with other hubs, the fixture of this is so we could use, let's say, this hub. We cannot mount this, so we cannot have these here. See the problem? There's no way to mount this piece here. Exactly, it's designed, this part is designed for just one purpose. That sucks. Why would you design a part that has just one purpose? It's Lego. Design the parts to have as many purposes as possible. But no, apparently that's hard. I would really like to, this slides around. I would really like to, this to be different. But I don't know how. And this is too limited. And the problem with this one here, our arch nemesis, at least one of these has to be a pin connection. So we cannot just put axles here and here, because if we do, then this is gonna wobble like hell on the axles, and we cannot have that. We have to have at least one pin connection. Yeah, I'm mounting it now. Like this. Now what? Now what we do with the gaps here? Cannot put anything in the gaps here. That's the problem. So if we cannot put anything in the gaps here, we're gonna have wobble. So we are here. This obviously isn't the strongest part, but I can live with it, I guess. But we're still stuck at the half stat problem. Besides, we have this here, which I guess can be solved by just putting two more connectors here. And as said before, this this would technically work, I guess. Yeah, wouldn't that we need the axles. We need the axles. Well, we could do, obviously we could do this. Yeah, we could do this. This would help a lot. Yeah, this would stabilize this enough, I guess. All right. We still need our diagonal stuff. We cannot mount anything here, so this is out of the question. We can mount whatever we do only here or here. We can mount stuff here. There's solutions for this. Sorry, I have something in my eye. I guess we could do this here. We can mount this here with an axle like that. But then we have the problem of how to mount the top part. We don't have a part that would fit here, I think. We cannot fit here, this here. I don't think so. Or can we? Can we? Wait. Would this fit? No, it wouldn't fit. Shit. No. We are not putting an axle here. We are not putting an axle here. Absolutely not. The pin has to stay. As I said before, when you have connectors with two pinholes, at least one of them has to be a pin, because if you have both axle holes, this would wobble, and there's enough wobble in the bearing itself. If we have wobble in the bearing and then the connector wobbles as well in the hub, that's too much for me. Way too much for me. So we can do this here. For example, we can do this. And then we would need to find a way to connect this to this somehow. That would be an option. Yeah. I can live without the genuine Italian feel, to be honest. I would really like our steering bordering to be here. Or a bit higher. I mean, depending on what we decide. I wonder. Now that we changed geometry, would this work? Let's try it. Let's try this. No. And just a tiny bit. No. Damn it. It's minor, but doesn't work. just a tiny bit off. I bet if we connected it from the bottom one, it would work. Yeah, of course, works. This combination works. Unfortunately, we cannot use it. Because, you know, if we, the top and the bottom have to be 3 studs wide, no more. Otherwise, it doesn't fit into the wheel. If we have anything wider than 3 studs here, it is going to rub against the rim. It's a shame. It's a shame, but that's how it is. We can, you know, we can still try. Yeah, but even here we don't have a perfect match, even with this. Yeah, even with this, it's not a perfect match. Shit. I mean, we can make it a perfect match, I guess, but it's not going to be very good. Yeah, won't even bother. And this, of course, Look at that. Oh, it's not even. It's not. It is not. Okay. It's not hitting the wheel. Ah, that's not, because I have to turn it around, I think. Then it's gonna hit it. Or? No. It's not hitting the wheel. Okay. Okay, so 4. So 4, we have 4 studs, not 3. Okay. Okay. This means that this gives us options here. Okay, so options here. No. I would want to not do something like this. This. That's not the part that I would want. I mean, you know what we want to do here? We want to make a pickup point for the steering. So the steering needs a half a stud offset to the inside. so we can pivot the hub. And that's what we are trying to do here. That's why we are doing all of this, because mechanically, so just with pins and stuff, it's not possible. We we don't have parts that would make this that would allow us to do this. And it's not in this direction. It's in this direction. Half a stud offset in this direction. If it was in this direction, no problem. We can do that. But in this direction, that's the issue. In this direction, it is very difficult. Like, this would be a part that would maybe do it. It would be ideally here and further inside. But we have absolutely no way of mounting this anywhere. That's the problem. If this had mounting points here on top, like pins here, no problem. We could pin it here. It would work. Still, it would have problems because it would wobble too much, because this is steering, and we want the whatever is being pulled by the steering link. We want this to be, as strong as possible. We would want this to be like something like this. That's our best hope. But we need to kinda mount this so that it doesn't wobble. You'd think? Let's try this. Yeah. Maybe. No. Sadly not. If we make a number 3 connector, yes, it would, I don't know, not even connect there, but it's not angling enough. And this leaves us with half a stud of space here. Okay, and I think I know what you mean here. Promise, where do we place it? Here. We could place it here. And see what happens. I don't know. In the worst case scenario, we can put a two stud axle in here on here, offset it further to the front, so it's lower and stuff. Yeah, let's mount this. Let me connect the steering to the servo. Where's the key? Where's the key? Steering to the servo, so it's held in position. There. So that it's not going left and right. And now we can see what's gonna happen. What options do we have here? Where can it be? Interesting. Interesting. Oh, fuck off! It wants to obviously pull everything out. Um, now what? It was too far in before, but it's too far out now. Yeah, so it's pointing too far out. But if I use a straight connector, it's too far in. Hmm. And of course, in this position, it has bumps there. Try something. So it's somewhere in between. Who? Who lost power or internet? What? Did the stream freeze? Everything worked perfectly fine here. Interesting. Okay. Everything here worked fine. So I don't know. Yeah, so basically it's between. Somewhere in between. Yeah, it's half a stat. Because this is more than half a stat. That's the problem. That's more. No, it won't help. It's gonna make things worse. We want things, the steering link to be as straight as possible. Otherwise, if we increase this angle, um, I mean, we have to increase it a little bit. Wait, of course, it has to be as long as this in the same direction. The problem is that if we do that, we don't get a lot of steering angle. And that's the problem. Because from the servo, I mean, yeah, I mean, if this here was something like this, it cannot be, but if it was like that, this is pointing straight. Because you see, the angle of the steering link is the same as the angle of the rear link. This is how it should be, ideally. So we have choices to make here. If we want this to be closer to this, we have to straighten the steering link a little bit, which means basically we move this here half a stud further back still, and this guy is gonna be pinned here, so it's gonna be straighter, which will increase the caster angle a little bit more still, but we are gonna get a straighter steering link, or basically the steering link will be closer to the hub, which we absolutely want. So if we have it like this, let's see about the bump steer. No bump steer. No bump steer. This is good. No bump steer. This is all good. Problem is, if I take the key and I can now steer, obviously. Come on. I'll approximate it. So if the servo steers just 90 degrees. So if I steer 90 degrees, I get this in one direction and this in the other direction. So minimal steering angles, because the pickup point for the steering is too far away from the center of the wheel. So we need to move the pickup point here closer to the center of the wheel. So the movement of the steering rack creates more movement of the wheel itself. So for this, we obviously need to straighten this out so that we can move this into this direction. Let's see if we can succeed. So we need to move this guy here half a stud in this direction. Let's use this one. Okay, this creates other problems, because right now these two are gonna clash. They are way too close together. Now, this is a problem. This is a problem. No, I don't think so. That's not the reason. Because if they made proper wheels so that we could move the pivot points inside the wheels, we wouldn't have to do multi-link suspension. We could do normal double wishbones as well. I would love to do normal double wishbones. So that's not the reason. Oh yeah, okay. This is rubbing here. But yeah, this needs to be higher anyway. Yeah, it needs to be higher, then this is a non-issue. Okay. We need to do it higher. Basically here. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't. Exactly.
So we can bring this closer. Okay. Let's see what do we get with 90 degrees. Okay. More, but still not a lot. This is of course me turning it the steering knob full, but 90 degrees is this. Nothing. And you know the position here is not very good because this is happening. Yeah. So ideally I would have it here. Problem is how this will be too steep. I think this is going to create massive problems when steering. You know, if I have it like that. It certainly is turning everything a lot more. A lot more, but still not enough. Yeah, I think our caster is not ideal now. But let's see about the steering itself. So 90 degrees like this, and 90 degrees like that. really. It's 2 times the same. Yeah. I mean, it's better. It's more than before. More than the car did before, I think. But still not a lot. Wow. My head hurts. I really don't know what to do here. And this is bump steer as well. What we could do here, is the following. So, something that we kind of did before, or in our very first attempt to build this, we did this. But now we have a second chance. Listen to me. We don't need to touch the lower arms. The lower arms are not the problem. Listen to me. So, we use just one. So, you want to move this arm. But what I want is I want to use this here and create an A arm out of it. Because, you see, we can actually get away with an A arm on top. We don't need these. Because with the setup we have here, we can actually, if the we angle this hub a little bit to the back, so that we can attach a single pivot here, and this part here is going to be behind the spring, and we're going to have from here a connector going to the front around the spring, connecting with this on the other side. So this is 6 studs long, and we can make, you know, an A arm out of it. What do you think? So we would have an A arm on top. And then we can still reposition this stuff here. But the shallow angle, it's not a problem. That's, you know, yeah, but maybe we are not gonna do it exactly like you did it on the landing. We'll see. If we supported this here and had something here that would prevent this, so if this part here can have something here that it leans on, so that it cannot be pulled back. So if you know what I mean, we would have something on this side here, approximately here, and the steer and the suspension arm would not be able to move back. It wouldn't be free in space, but it would have a wall here, and it would sit against the wall. and that would prevent it from being able to disconnect from the connector that goes to the front. And the connector that goes to the front would be just, to stabilize it in the it would be to stabilize it in this plane. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, but now this would go around the spring. God. Yeah, modularity absolutely needs to be here. So we would have this, of course, pinned on both sides, so we can always disconnect the upper wishbone. One connection would be inside the cockpit, and the other would be somewhere here. Yeah. And then we can still play with the lower wishbones, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, I am literally drained from this. Um, the next 2 days, I think my afternoons are gonna be staring at this and trying to figure out how to do it. No, good lord. Yeah, I mean the advantages would be to have less variables. We have too many variables here. Um, so we have at least one fixed point on the top, and the two variables at the bottom. Um, and then this would make the placement of the steering link easier, I think. Yeah, I know, Christian. I know. My head hurts. I don't know. I need a break. Anyway, That's it for today. Thanks for sticking with me. Um, I guess when we meet again on Friday, I hope I have something for you. I'm gonna build something tomorrow and see what I can come up with. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hmm, I'm yawning already. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and I see you on Friday.